Hello, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life. And I got a message in my YouTube inbox, which anybody can send me a message there if you've got a question, comment, whatever. This is from Joshua. He says, hi, my name is Josh, and I recently watched a video where you talked about losing a whole bunch of money from dealing with Blizzard. And he's referring to the video where we took losses of nearly $250,000 in one day. And that was a pretty eventful day, let me tell you. And so what he says is that he knows that would had to do with Blizzard and everything. Back then we were helping support a store that did the buying, selling, and trading of WoW accounts. And this is something that we don't do these days. We don't do anything that violates the terms of service. Back in 2010, we decided that we were going to make a change, that we weren't going to support anything that was a violation of the terms of service for any games, and well, for anything for that matter, not just games. But this was a decision because we don't want to harm the game market. We want to improve it. Oh, it's funny, I'm wearing a Blizzard hat while I'm saying this. I just realized that. So anyway, what he says here is he's got 2 level 90s, and he's like, maybe I should sell them. Okay, so he didn't want to know what they're worth. I looked it up, and I was actually surprised that there is still a market for buying and selling, trading of WoW accounts. And in fact, most of the accounts go for their level 90 anywhere from $100 to $300, something like that. Gold isn't hardly worth anything. He says he has, a few gold, and I forget how much he says in here. It's actually quite a lot of stuff that he wrote, but I think he said 20,000 gold, which really is not very much, considering that WoW gold these days, 50,000 gold is going for like $70, and now. What was really incredible is that there are some accounts out there that people are selling for close to $2,000, and they're very high-ranked accounts, though. And I think the value these days is really in accounts that are ranked high in PvP or in the leaderboards, and having the different armor sets that come with achieving such high ranks. So anyway, the problem though is with buying, selling, or trading of WoW accounts is that it's just so easy for your account to get popped. I can tell you that Blizzard has done a pretty good job of stopping people from doing these actions. They do not want to promote it. They don't want people doing it. And they actively search for transactions taking place, and they ban the accounts. There's a lot of people who game the system, but that only lasts for so long. And I remember back, it's been since it was prior to 2010 the last time that I was involved in any sale of an account. But even back then, what would happen is sometimes 6 months later, an account would get popped because it was part of a transaction, even though it, 6 months later, I mean, what the hell? But the fact is that they keep a lot of records for quite a long time, and then they make these big sweeps, and they will take out a whole bunch of them all at once. So it's not like, here's one, pop, here's one, pop, here's one, pop. It's like, okay, here's all of them, and just fire a volley, bam, at all of them all at once. So, and, I myself could not put time into an account that I know may be a problem. And I think it's even bigger problem for people who are professionally buying, selling, trading of WoW accounts, because they end up with patterns and everything of how they do business, of of what IPs touch the accounts, what payment methods are used, and it's all a metrics thing. And I can tell you that the reason that that the accounts got popped back when we were helping this other store do all these sales and we were aggregating the sales for them, is that they all used U.S. Bank prepaid credit cards, and so they would use that for those, and they had hundreds of these credit cards, and what happened is basically that became the common denominator. I mean, they were changing IPs all the time. They were changing all kinds of different things to mask their machines, and it boiled down to all of them used the same card. And so with this work they were doing, all of them that used the same cards, they basically all got popped. So it becomes a statistical thing, which is something that's pretty interesting in how game companies catch hackers, is that they look for statistical anomalies, either really high on the scale or really low on the scale. And when you look at a statistical average of any certain action and you say, okay, why is this guy 100 times greater than the average? And you say, there's something going on about them. Now, in some instances, it's that they have decided to take a different method at playing the game, that they've said, okay, I'm going to take a different perspective, a different look at this game and see, try really needling in at this, what I think is a weakness or a flaw in the design of the game. Not necessarily exploiting, but just taking advantage of the way that things are generally thought to be. Perfect example of it is a guy in Jeopardy who's playing Jeopardy in the US here currently, who is gaming the system. And he's if you're not familiar with Jeopardy is a game show where you say, okay, Alex Trebek, I'd like World of Warcraft for 100, and then it comes up and it says an answer, and then you got to say the question that goes along with it. And so this guy figured out that all of the daily doubles, which allow you to double your money, happen in the $800 and $1,000 range, which is the bottom two tiers of all of the questions. And so he decided that he was going to just take and focus on those two tiers, and that he was going to, if he knew the category well, he was going to bet like everything he had. If he didn't know the category well, he was going to bet like $5 or something like that. Really just amounts that just everybody's like going, why even bet anything? Well, his plan is that if he can't answer it, he can at least diffuse it and bust it and stop that daily double from being used by one of the other players. And when you remove all the daily doubles, then you can't have another player that goes leaps and bounds above you, because they have to work their way up the ladder, and it starts like 100 and then 200 and then I don't know if it's 300 or 500, something like that. I don't think it's 10 items all the way down, but I'm not sure. And so he has taken a different stance at it, and he's really pissing a lot of people off because of the way he's playing, because they think it's not fair. But in fact, nobody has ever said that you can't play that way. And so he has done it this other way. And last I looked, he had won 3 episodes in a row. And it was a very unique take on how this stuff all works. Well, so he would be a statistical outlier, and would be somebody that people would study. Now with him, it's different. But in the games, many times they find that players are playing it differently, but they also find that this is a bot, because bots tend to perform the same actions over and over and over again with the same, kind of methodology. Like, okay, well, I'm going to use my pickaxe and I'm going to mine this rock, And so I'm going to hit, and then as soon as the mind rock appears, being able to pick up or whatever, how many milliseconds in between before it appears, before it's clicked, saying, put it in my backpack. And the timing on that, since it's a computer, is nearly identical every time. And so that becomes a statistical outlier, and it's what gets people caught. Anyway, what I'm getting down to in all of this is that that I think that buying an account, selling an account, whatever, is just full of problems. You can't just sell your account to somebody you don't know, because that other person that you don't know may very well use stolen funds to buy it from you. And then they turn around and they sell it to somebody else, and they take in the money on a legitimate account, and then they walk away with it. And then you say, oh my God, I'm freaking out. They stole my money. You recall the account back, and then the other person that bought it on the other end gets screwed because they just lost their account. And so it's crazy, isn't it? And, I was saying that accounts can get popped 6 months after the fact. Well, you only have so much time to file a dispute or make a credit card claim when you've been stolen from. And meaning that, like, you buy an account and then it gets taken back. And so, it's not uncommon for you to buy an account and then 6 months later it gets recalled because they know that you can't pull the money back again, and it appears in their frickin' store again, and then they just sell it again and do it again, rinse and repeat, except now they take a new inventory because it's now worth more because you spent all this time working on it. So anyway, that is my take on buying, selling, and trading of WoW accounts these days. And it does happen, it does exist, but I can't recommend it because, it's got problems for everybody all the way around. And the amount of people that actually have a good experience doing this is really, really on the small side. And so there you have it. Best off idea, maybe just give your account to a friend who wants to play, or just set it aside. Maybe a couple of expansions from now, you'll want to start playing again, and you'll have a lot of stuff to go through. That's been my problem with WoW. Speaking of WoW, look at this. This was sent to me in the mail from Abresh. Thank you, Abresh. She sent me the collector's edition for Wrath of the Lich King, which I didn't have because I haven't bought it since I don't know, Burning Crusade. I guess that's the last one that I bought. And will I play the game again? Maybe. I don't know. I still have my account, but my character's level 60. I just haven't played it so much lately, and I think that there's a lot of other good games to do. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out now it's made on camera. Thank you, Bresh, for that copy of that game. Put on my shelf. It looks nice there. Anyway, everybody, go ahead and send me any messages in YouTube if you want. I do try and read them. And if you're into gameplay, check out my gameplay channel. I'll put a link to it in the description. And not playing World of Warcraft, but do have other things going on there. So check it out. I'm Marky Dragon. Take care.